Amid the tall Carolina pines, the 92-year-old Pinehurst #2. For the first time, this historic Donald Ross design plays host to a U.S. Open Championship.
It was extraordinary because it was really something that hadn't been done before. Historically, the USGA had usually had them in major urban markets, and so this was really one of the first rural U.S. Opens, and at first nobody knew whether it would work. Well, it turns out it works incredibly well.
There was a real excitement about coming here for the first time for an Open. The storylines of the week: one, Phil Mickelson, whose wife Amy was getting ready to give birth to their first child.
The first thing he said to me when he got out of the car was, "Here's a beeper. If this goes off, I don't care if we're on the range, if we're on the first tee or the 18th green any day this week. You let me know immediately because I'm leaving."
Many of your thoughts are back home this week. Is that maybe a good thing, considering the size of the Open?
Sure, in a sense it's a nice distraction while off the course, because as you know, in major championships, anxiety and tension tends to build in between rounds, and it's nice to have a distraction like that, sure.
Payne Stewart that had already won a U.S. Open, but had lost in such almost kind of a tragic way at the Olympic Club the year prior.
In 1998, Payne had the 54-hole lead at the U.S. Open and lost to Lee Jansen in the final couple of holes.
Payne was kind of remembered for the ones that got away.
After what happened last year, I didn't play well enough on Sunday. I got beat by a great round of golf in very difficult conditions, and all I wanted to give myself a chance to rectify that situation this year.
Missing the cut in Memphis the week before, Payne's preparation was probably greater than anyone that played in the tournament that week.
If Payne Stewart doesn't miss the cut in Memphis, he is not as comfortable, as relaxed. His game plan does not come quite together like it did, because he had 4 full days here. By Wednesday afternoon, by lunchtime, he left the golf course because there was nothing more to do. He was ready to go.
That's a green light putt, uphill. You don't have to worry about 2-putting.
What a climax to a great day of golf here at Pinehurst.
On that Saturday, Payne made birdie on 18 to take the lead, and he was feeling good about himself. It gave him a boost of confidence to know that he had the lead again, and it was going to be his to win or lose on Sunday.
I wanted this opportunity, and now I got to go out and deal with it.
As those guys were going to the first tee, everybody in the grandstands rose, and there was just like this thunderous applause. You know, you're kind of heading into battle a little bit. It was a little bit like walking into the Coliseum when the place went nuts, and those guys, you know, went over the first hole and teed off.
Just what the doctor ordered.
How many big names were on that leaderboard? Tiger, Phil, VJ, David Duval, and here was Payne Stewart. That's what you hope every major has.
It's not a hard putt, it really isn't. Inside the hole, do it.
It seemed like a 3-man race when Tiger missed the par putt on 17.
And yet another lip out.
At that point, it seemed as though it was a 2-man race between Phil and Payne.
The shot low and left.
Well, it gets a
pretty
great
good hop.
bounce.
Payne didn't hit a very good shot into the green on 16 and got a great break, and that's what you need to win majors.
Better check.
Awfully firm.
What was that, Roger?
I think he got at that a little harder than he wanted to. I don't know if you want to call that the open pressure or whatever, but he hit that one much further in the air than I think he was trying to.
Without a doubt, the worst chip he hit all week long. I mean, he almost bellied it over the green. It was just terrible. About 30 feet behind the hole.
Tough putt to read.
The putt that he had for par, you can't read it, much less make it.
It was downhill. It broke at least 2 ways, and it was 25 feet on the 70th hole of the U.S. Open.
It was probably divine intervention that he made that putt. I mean, it's an impossible putt to make, but he did.
Biggest putt of his life.
Just to answer Stewart. No, it's not going to move that much.
He yanked it.
That really set the stage. He and Phil now are even going to 17, the 71st hole.
Shot starts just left of the hole, cutting just right of the hole.
Oh, what a shot. Payne Stewart. And Phil Mickelson says, nice shot.
Just great finish. Just great finish. I mean, you had two giants of the game playing that type of golf.
See if he can answer Payne's great shot.
This is going right in the same line as Payne's.
Oh, what a shot! You're kidding me.
There was a huge reaction when Payne's ball rolled up as close as it did, and then the place erupted when Phil hit it relatively close also.
The noise and the reverberations, you could literally feel the reverberations on the ground.
These are two guys at the top of their game, obviously wanting to hold that U.S. Open trophy, and they're locked in, and it's going to be who blinks first.
One hole to play. Stewart leads by one.
So now he's got a one-shot lead going to the 72nd hole.
Phil had not yet won a major championship, and he was right there every step of the way, and these guys just went head to head. It was impressive. It was very impressive.
This ball going down the right side. Should be pretty good.
No, it isn't. It missed by 6 inches, Raj. That is in trouble right there.
You see players fail under that type of pressure, but you also see them do extraordinary things because of the pressure.
Perfect. Perfect. He's got a chance to catch Payne. Payne's got the tough lie.
Phil was, I'm sure, thinking to himself, if I can drive the ball in the fairway here, it's going to be advantage me on 18, and he did.
That after they hit their tee shots and they were walking up the hill, you could hear the carillon from the village chapel, and it was playing Amazing Grace.
They're hitting on all cylinders. They're thinking so clearly. Their feeling is right at their fingertips, and they do things that maybe they don't even think they can do.
And we got up to his ball, and it just hadn't carried far enough, and it was the worst lie he'd had all week. He didn't even ask me for a yardage to the green. He just wanted to know what we had to lay up short of the green here on 18.
If he happens to make bogey here and Phil Mickelson make birdie, he'll look at this little break right here saying this was not good.
He hit an 8-iron out, and it left us with about 78 yards for his third shot.
Laid up just on the side slope there, the ball below his feet.
Phil had an 8-iron in there. I would assume it was probably 165, 70 yards. He pulled it a little bit.
He said, oh no.
There's a ball going right of the hole, John.
The greens were softer now because of the mist, and the ball hung up on the right side of the green rather than releasing down.
Has the birdie chance. His 16th U.S. Open, the 91 champion, gives himself the opportunity to win again.
Phil was away, barely, by about a foot. It looked good for a long time, but it missed, and that gave Payne the open door.
It's almost improbable to think you could hold 2 putts like this for par in the last 3 holes, isn't it?
It is, and these uphill putts, you have to hit them so square and so perfect. There's no help.
Pretty much the history of the U.S. Open has been is nobody makes that putt.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh my, what a clutch putt.
Not a lot of guys are going to get that putt to the hole. I was preparing myself for Monday playoff.
When he lined up the putt, I had no idea. But I could see Payne and I could see the ball rolling, and then finally it disappeared and everybody just went crazy.
I happened to be standing next to Tracy Stewart to the side of the 18th green.
I do remember Roger being right there, and Roger had tears coming down his face, and I had tears, and it was just very emotional.
I was at a basketball camp. Someone actually ran into the building, said, "He made the putt, he made the putt." So that was really fun for me to get to celebrate with all my friends, and then to celebrate with Mom and Dad the next couple days.
It was a great moment to a great championship.
A lot of people refer to it as the redemption, and the way he won it and the way he conducted himself, both during the event and then afterwards, and the advice he gave Phil Mickelson. It's incredibly special.
When he walked over to Phil and put his hands on his cheeks and said, "You're going to be a father," the fraction after enjoying his biggest professional high, his greatest moment, that he would have the presence of mind to go up to Phil and say, "You're going to be a dad." I mean, he was a new man, and we all knew it. A man we liked very much.
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to give thanks to the Lord. And if it wasn't for the faith that I have in Him, I wouldn't have been able to have the faith I've had in myself on the golf course today.
There were numerous times on the golf course today where you had to dig deep.
Well, I could never give up out there. Phil played unbelievable. He really did. And Phil's going to have his opportunities again. Mine might be on the short list.
You dug deep out there today as well. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was an exciting tournament for me. The outcome wasn't what I had hoped for, but I thought that the putts that Payne made on 16 and 18 showed what a great champion he is, and I think he represents the United States exceptionally well as our champion.
He had a piece about him, especially that week, that I'd never seen before.
His untimely death 4 months later was a shock to the golf world, and I think accentuates really what happened here on that Sunday in Pinehurst.
It turned out to be one of those tournaments that people never forget. Kids who were there will grow up remembering what they witnessed, and it's the kind of iconic moment that is not only immortalized in statues, but it's something that golfers use as a reference point their entire lives.